Welcome back to the garden for the first garden tour of 2026, and we're starting it off in my first garden, which is the back food for our style garden. I started this garden when we first bought our house like over 10 years ago now. It's gone through a lot of different stages, and even in the last year a lot of changes have happened here. So this garden is set out like a food forest. It's got different layers so that I can grow a lot of food in a small space. I like to collect fruit trees, and I have over 200 different fruit trees here on a suburban block of just over 700 square meters. So it's not a huge amount of space, but I'm able to grow a huge variety of different things rather than just getting one big lot of one type of fruit. I do have behind me here some big trees now. These ones here are pretty tall and they're producing a lot of fruit. These are my feijoa trees, and in the past I have got way more feijoas than I could even eat, so I've been giving those away, preserving them and making a whole bunch of different things with them. But I've also now got another additional 2 different feijoa trees in the front yard. So yeah, this Kiwi loves feijoas, and here in Perth you can grow them really easily. So starting off here, this is my passion fruit, and I used to have a huge passion fruit vine growing down here, but it never produced any real fruit. I got a couple of fruit off it, and it was not what I purchased. So I purchased a purple passion fruit, and it ended up being a giant gold passion fruit, which is fine by me, but it never actually produced anything no matter what I did to it. And I've got another one that produces a whole lot of gold passion fruit, so I didn't actually need a second one. And passion fruits are short-lived. They live about 7 years and then they sort of go downhill and stop producing and suddenly die. And it was already at three years old, and it still really didn't produce anything. So I don't have space for that. So out it came, and I replaced it with this passion fruit, which I only just planted a few months ago, and it's already taken off. So this is a sunshine special, which does really well in my conditions here in Perth, and it's already started flowering. So we'll see. I may get a few fruits on it. If not, next year we're in. So I've got that on the end, and I have that growing down the driveway where I can grow nothing else. It's concrete up to a fence. So this means that I can grow more fruit without using up any more garden space. Down here is my Queensland arrowroot, and I use this as a mulch plant. So this is a chop and drop, and it's also helping to provide a lot of shade and wind protection for some of these smaller plants. So things like my mango here hates wind, and it's now in this secure little spot here. So this is the Irwin mango, which is a dwarf mango. And then down here, I just planted this little one down here because this is my favorite color. And this is just a little flower. It's a native, and it's called Break of Day, I think it is. So I'm hoping that's just going to end up being a little ground cover for some colour. Another one that is a beautiful colour, I love purple, is the Society Garlic, and it has garlic flavoured flowers. So these are really good to pop in salads to use as garnish, and they have a really delicious garlic flavour all year round. So if you struggle to grow garlic, then this could be an option for you. The leaves are also garlic flavoured, but they are very intense. I would not use a lot of them. I would probably choose garlic chives to eat over these. It's just too strong, but the flowers are amazing. So you can come out here, pick some, pop them on your dinner, and get that delicious garlic flavour. And above that I have my seed-grown papaya. So this actually got damaged at the very end of winter. It was doing so well, and then it did get some rot at the top, and it sort of rotted down. But it has shot off all these side branches. So it's got about 4 or 5 side branches now, which means that I'm going to get papayas a lot lower down, which is good, but it also means it takes up a lot more horizontal space, which I don't have a lot of room for. But for now, it's doing good. Hopefully we'll start getting some fruit off that. But because this is seed growing, I'm not stressed about it. I can remove it. It costs me nothing. I can plant other ones from seed, and I can pop them in other areas of the garden. So we've got the papaya here, and then this is my kumquat, the Nagami kumquat, and it is loaded in fruit. It has so many little fruits on it, and normally because this flowers and fruits in summer, when we get really high winds, a lot of that fruit gets knocked off. But because I've now got it jammed in here with this Queensland arrowroot, it's surrounded, it's next to the papaya. This is so sheltered that so much of the fruit is sticking, and I'm going to get a million kumquats. So that will be fun. We've also got down here pigeon pea, so this is a nitrogen fixer, and that's another one that I'm using as chop and drop. It's also really good to just add that density to reduce some of the wind. Once it gets tall enough, it can provide shade. It also provides edible peas as well. So this is a really useful plant for a food forest garden. We've got the Queensland arrowroot, and then you can't even see behind there, but there's actually a mango. So tucked in here, there is a mango, and that is the lemon zest mango. And then here we have my blue Java banana, which is also known as the ice cream banana. So it's pretty tall, it's on a bit of a lean, so I may need to prop that up when it does fruit, or tie it here to the feed jar. I've been waiting for this to send up some pups, and it's actually sent up a whole lot all at once. So the full-size banana nearly, and then there's no real middle-sized bananas ready to take its place, but have a look at this. I noticed this one the other day and I was excited because I finally got a banana pup, but there's actually so many. There's one there, one here, right at the back there. So there's actually at least 6 banana pups in here. I'm not going to keep them all. Those ones I have a feeling could be water suckers, so they're quite far away from the plant, but we'll wait and see what the leaves look like. If the leaves are more rounded, then they could be water suckers, which are just going to steal a lot of the water, whereas the sword suckers here with the pointy leaves, those are going to be a really good replacement that are going to grow some good bananas. So I did go through and do a bit of a chop and drop on these Queensland arrowroots to make some space and some light for those banana pups, and also to use as mulch to feed the garden. But someone else has been doing some gardening for me. Was that you digging in the garden? Did you dig that? Do you like gardening now? Are you a gardener? What's that? What's that hole? What happened over there? So this is usually covered in sweet potatoes and mulch and all the things, but my dog decided after 10 years that he likes gardening too, and so he's done a bit of a nest in there. So yeah, I can't blame him. That looks like a nice, cool, shady spot in there to hang out. So we'll leave it with that. So we've got the big feijoa here. This is a seedling feijoa. It's got some fruit on it. It has dropped a lot of fruit with that high winds, but there's still plenty on there. It's a big tree. I have another one right there that's also got a lot of fruit on it. And down in here we've got a black sapote or chocolate pudding fruit, and it's got some little flowers coming on. So we may get some fruit this year, but who knows? It's still quite small. Tucked in there, Queensland arrowroot, and then that is a avocado in there, which replaced the lemon tree. So I ended up taking out my lemon tree that I had in here, which produced a lot of lemons, but it also was super susceptible to citrus gall wasp. And after fighting it and pruning it back every year and just hardly getting any fruit out of it in the end, I decided to replace it, because why not? I could get some delicious avocados instead of constantly trying to force myself to get lemons. When lemons are actually pretty easy to purchase, avocados are much more of a rich crop. This is also a unique avocado. It's not something you can buy at the shops. It's one of the super large ones. So I'm excited to get that, to try that. We've got the lavender in the front here, and then next to it we've got the other seed growing feijoa, which has never done that well. The thing with purchasing seedling feijoas, or just no-name feijoas, is that you don't know what the outcome is going to be. They're not going to be the same as anything else. They are their own unique variety. And this big one here has always done really well, whereas this smaller one, the fruit's always been a bit average. So my plan was to eventually remove this and mulch it and make space for that avocado when it gets a bit bigger. Because like I said, I do have this big feijoa plus 2 more out the front. So lots of little fruits on there. There are other things tucked in here, like there's a Brazilian cherry that I grew from a seed that's popped in there. Down here we've got a super dwarf peach. Something else that I've squeezed in there that you probably haven't seen is a Cara orange, which is a pink orange. It's often called a blood orange, but it's not. It's a really juicy, sweet orange, and it ends up being slightly pink inside, and it is so delicious. It's my favourite orange to eat, so I'm excited to have that. I've had it in a pot for a good few years, but I was going to top work my mandarin tree and turn it into a Cara orange, but for now I've decided I just wanted things out of pots, and I've popped it in the ground. I've popped it in there knowing that I will probably eventually take out this feijoa, so it's okay in there. We've got bananas. So this is probably my oldest banana, even though it's definitely not the biggest banana. This is the dwarf Cavendish banana, and it'll be interesting to see who sets bananas first. So it's a race for the first rack of bananas in my garden, and I've got 3 in this set. So this one is not much smaller, and then there's this one down here. And the real difference I've seen in having these dwarf bananas is that the leaves don't get as shredded because they're not up in the wind. We get high winds here in summer, and the leaves just get absolutely shredded, and the success of your bananas is determined by the leaves throughout the whole growing process. So if the leaves are always shredded, they're not going to photosynthesize as much, and you're not going to get as much energy stored for that banana rack. Whereas if the leaves are nice and big and flat, they're going to capture all of that energy and turn it into delicious bananas. So I knew that when I planted my big tall plantain, which we'll have a look at, but I just wanted to try things. I like to experiment. I like to see things for myself in the garden, and so that has been really interesting. But yeah, the leaves on the big tall bananas just get so shredded. So we'll see how the bananas actually turn out. Behind that, in here we have a pomegranate. It's an Azerbaijani pomegranate, and I have also grafted I think 2 different types of pomegranate onto it now. What else have we got in here? It is all starting to come back together after I absolutely hacked it, removed so many things. I was really not loving it because I like it to look really lush and, full of life, but because I'm constantly editing my gardens, they can't all look like that. So tucked in down here we have my seed growing cherimoya, and it's looking really good. It does get battered around quite a lot, but yeah, still growing, still thriving. Down here we've got my yellow Batanga tuber, nasturtiums, which are pretty well dying off now. The sweet potato has taken over as the ground cover as the nasturtium has died off. Here we've got my big Hawaiian guava, which is a delicious guava. It's one of my favorites, but I did graft a Thai variety onto this branch, and then I've just recently put on a Malaysian guava as well. So it's got 3 different types of guava on it. I have this one out the front, so if I ever want to remove that tree out the front and replace it with something, I still have it growing here. I still have fruit here. So I am going to bag these fruits from the fruit fly, so there's a few on there. We've got a pineapple down here. We've got another little patch of dwarf Cavendish, so I don't know who's going to win. This one is older, but this one looks just as tall and good, so we'll see. Oh, tucked in down here, which you can't really see, is a native plum, the Davidson plum. So it's got its own little hidey spot in there, protected, and it's doing well. It's putting on new growth. It's even started setting some flowers. So the interesting thing about this is the fruit forms along the trunk. Then we have got my dwarf Parma mango down here. I popped in a strawberry, Queensland arrowroot popping up. This is my big tall plantain. So you can see it's got a beautiful new leaf on it, which is not going to last long. It's soon going to look like this, like absolutely shredded, but it's so tall now, like that's the fence. It's like double fence height. And we've got 2 coming along here, so 2 pups. So no more pups I'm going to let grow for now. Just wait for this main one to fruit before I let another one pop up so that it's got enough energy. And this beauty down here, this is really a star in my garden at the moment. This is the Pinkerton avocado, and it's pushing all new growth, and it has no shade cover. So my avocados out the front, they are all under shade. They're all looking pretty ratty because not only do we get the hot sun here in Perth, but we also get really, really high winds, and the wind's hot, so they're just getting blasted all the time. Whereas these ones out here in the back are really sheltered, tucked in between the Queensland arrowroot. It's got the plantain banana and then this real dense banana guava system on this side. This Pinkerton hardly gets any wind, so next year we may get some avocado, arrowroots, a seed-grown papaya, and then snuck in here is a mango. So I had this one potted, but I've managed to squeeze it in here. It's a elephant mango, which is quite an unusual one. It has really big fruits. This beauty here, this is my color changing hibiscus, so the flowers are always a different shade of pink or purple, which is really unusual. I've never seen anything else like that before. And tucked away down in here we have my native blood lime, another little avocado that's doing really well tucked in down there, the Rollinia, which is not very happy. It's not very happy, but it's still alive. It's still alive. It was getting bashed about by these, so I've had to prune them back a bit so that the wind doesn't smash off this delicate new growth. Then down here, this is a seed-grown Brazilian cherry. It was a white fruit, but it's seed-grown, so we don't know what it's going to be like. And I grew that one myself in the fish tank greenhouse. This one down here is the sweet grenadier. It's looking a bit ratty, but it is pushing new growth. And my plan is to replace it along here. So this was my gold passion fruit, or still is my gold passion fruit. It got actually hammered with caterpillars, but it is coming back to life. It's just a bit too shady in this spot for it, whereas the sweet grenadier will like a bit more of that shade. I hope you enjoyed that tour around the garden. We'll take one out the front soon, so make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.